Alright, everybody, what's going on? Now, there was a thunderstorm the other night, struck my modem, fried it, so yeah, internet's been out of the question for me the past couple of days. Got a new one though, got everything hooked up, so like I said last week, here's my 2011 SEC prediction. Alright, first of all, let's start with the West. I'll get to the East, second. I just want to take care of the West first. Now, the West is going to be good this year, but not as good as it has before. But anyways, like I said, I'm not going to talk a lot about these teams. I'm just going to rank them and just spend a second saying why I think they should be in that spot. Of course, at number 6, at last place in the West, of course, I've got Mississippi. They're not doing too well. They got a lot of work to do before they get back, to being solid. Number 5 is Auburn. Now, Auburn, fans, don't get mad. I mean, seriously, you lose Newton, you lose Fairley, and just too many other guys to count. I mean, Newton, and I agree with Grimm. Those are some good stats. When a guy scores so much of your offense, so much, of your offense came from one guy. When you lose them, that's not good. Plus, you guys are having to put up with the pressure of coming off of the 2011 national championship win. And, all that together, I think you guys, after winning a bowl game at the end of the year, can probably pull off a 6 to maybe an 8-win season. But I'd say more likely a 7. But, I'm sorry, that's just where I got Auburn. Number 4, I have, actually at number 4, I've got Arkansas. Well, no, I'll change that. Number 4 is Mississippi State. I think Mississippi State had a solid team. They lost some defensive players, but they still returned their quarterback, the running back. I think they still got a pretty good team. They could be a giant killer. They could surprise people in the West this year. So, but I'm just not sure of how well they're going to do with what talent they have. So for right now, I got them at number 4. But now, if later on in the season I see stuff from them that says, well, hey, they're really trying to prove something there, then I would put them at number 3, and I would put my number 3 team at number 4. Speaking of which, number 3 in the West for me is Arkansas. Arkansas, I think, will be about a maybe 9 or 10 win team this year. I think after losing, Mallet and some other guys, and their defense still has some work to be done. I know this guy is really selling it like, I know their coach is really saying, he's trying to advertise this thing like it's going to be the best defense in the SEC or one of the best, but I just don't see it. But I think they'll do decent. I think they'll do pretty well. Coming in at number 2 in the West for me is Alabama. Alabama, this was real hard between Alabama and LSU. Which one should go number 1? Which one should go number 2? But I think LSU is on a rise. I think they'll do better next year. I think Alabama is still going to do good next year. I think they'll win about 10, maybe 11 games after a bowl game. I think they're still going to do good next year. I just think LSU has got what it takes to win the West this year, and I just really believe it. But, who knows? But it could be Alabama. I'm not sure. I mean, this is just my predictions and my thoughts. I mean, so they only matter to a certain extent. But it was really hard to pick which one was number 2 and which one was number 1. It wasn't easy at all. So, yeah. But anyways, next off. Now let's start with the East. Of course, coming in at number 6 is Vanderbilt. Enough said. They got a new coach and stuff and whatnot, but yeah, whatever. You know that story. I'm not going to explain why they're number 6. Number 5, Kentucky. If Kentucky still had Cobb, I think they could do something this year, but they're not. They lost a lot of players that they really need this year. But I think they'll do pretty decent still, maybe 6-7 win season, you know, something like that. Anyways, moving on. Number 4. This was a hard decision to make for numbers 4 through 2. You know, Tennessee and Georgia and Florida right now are just so much is unknown about how well they're going to do this year. How much, you know, if they're going to be better, how much better are they going to be? But, you know, at the end of the day, I'm putting Georgia at number 4 because Georgia is a team this year that could either do pretty well or they could just kind of fall off the map. And I think they're going to have stress on them, being that their coach, he's on the hot seat, and I just don't know if they're gonna be able to do as good as they want to this season under that kind of pressure. So, but they will have some talent. I think they'll win about anywhere from 6 to 8 games, but I'm leaning more towards about 7 wins, something like that. But who knows? They might, do better than what I'm expecting them to do. So I'm gonna go ahead and put Georgia at number 4. Now this was also a tough one. I'm gonna actually put Florida at number 2 because I'm gonna put Tennessee at number 3. Tennessee, I think, will be, like I said, I think the whole Eastern Division, with the exception of Vanderbilt and Kentucky, is going to be better this year. I'm gonna go ahead and put Tennessee at number 3. I think Tennessee has some talent. I just, their defense, and I just don't know how well Dooley is going to get things together for them this season. He might do, hey, you never know. He could do an incredible job this season. We just have to wait and see. But my prediction right now, I'll go ahead and put them at number 3. Florida, I'm only putting them at number 2 over Tennessee for one reason. That's talent. Now, last year, that talent was not implemented at all. Not very well at all. Things were just downhill for Florida last year. So, but if they can do better this year, Charlie Wise, if he can really get this offense going, and their new head coach, if he can just get things together, I think they could be the number 2 team in the East. Of course, coming in at number 1 is South Carolina. Now, there's no arguing with that. South Carolina has the most talent out of the East. You pretty much can't argue with that. Last year, I'm going to go ahead and tell you. Now, I'm going to make individual videos for each team we face. So, I'm not going to really, talk to you guys about this too much. But I will say this. Last year was not a fluke. Last year, that was skill. That was determination. We finished the season poorly, but we're going to change that this year. We will win the East. We will make it back to Atlanta. And this year, we will win the SEC championship. But, so there you go. Recap over it right quick. For the West, I got Ole Miss at number 6, Auburn at number 5, Mississippi State at number 4, Arkansas at number 3, Alabama number 2, LSU number 1. East, Vanderbilt at number 6, Kentucky at number 5, Georgia at number 4, Tennessee at number 3, Florida at number 2, and South Carolina, of course, at number 1. So, but that's just my prediction. And I think it's going to be a good year for the SEC. I think there's going to be a lot of competitive games, a lot of great games. I'm just really looking forward to the season, but that's my prediction, guys. just let me know what you think. Leave your comments down below, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Well, I'll see you guys later. Peace.